Well, we presented with a challenge to make this V8 car supercharged. So the first challenge we had was to make a supercharger kit that originally is for an American muscle car fit a modern Nissan multi-valve V8. I was pretty challenged because it's way bigger than the space allowed. So we made all custom bracketry, custom intake manifolds and custom supercharger pulleys for it. Also, we made a full suspension kit to suit this chassis, because we believe the 370 and the Nissan R35 GTR are big drift cars of the future. So we invested heavily in the research for making a proper drift kit for this car, and I think we've succeeded fairly good so far, because Shane's quite happy with the way it handles.
So the reason we sort of built this car was to raise the game of the cars within the BDC. So things like the quick fueling system on the side there by ATL, you can fill up 20 litres in about 1.5 seconds. Air jacks as well, so in the BDC you get a 5-minute rule, so you've got to change your wheels and tyres as much as possible. For us with a 4-car team, that's massively important. If all cars come in at the same time, you've got to get the cars as quickly as possible. So having a car with air jacks and quick fuel gets this one out of the way in about 30 seconds. Brilliant and done. The other way we've raised the game is we spent about 3 months on chassis prep alone. So a lot of cars in the BDC, chassis not forgotten about, but not as much work's gone into it as say the engine or the drivetrain. But making the chassis rigid gives for a much better handling car, a much stronger car, more reliable car. So we spent time with getting acid dips to get rid of excess weight from soundproofing, seam welded to increase strength, seam sealed to waterproof it again, and our cage is welded into the chassis at about 3 points on either side. Just gets the strength we need, especially when you've got that much torque.
So we're at Teesside for pretty much the first real test of the 370Z build of Team Japspeed, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Like, when you build a new car, you always expect not the worst, but it possibly can become a thing where you just have a world of development that you never expected. And in faith, I left the boys to it, and Team Japspeed, they said, right, we're going to build this 370Z and it's going to be amazing. I drove it today and it's amazing. It really is. We've got a couple of tiny niggles, which is expected from any kind of build, but to the point of where it's like nothing, absolutely nothing. It's the best car I've ever driven. I am driving race cars, drift cars, and all sorts of cars since kind of 1998, and this car is just unbelievable. I think the kind of engineering that goes into what drifting is today. When I remember kind of 8 years ago getting into a drift car, a bog standard R32 Skyline, let's call it a $5,000, and that was a competition car. Now, that girl up there, a 370Z Nissan, what is an animal, man. All we're trying to do is tame the beast. That's all we're trying to do. It's got so much madness in it. We're trying to wind her back just to say, yo, calm down. The car is unbelievable. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. For the last few years, I've kind of driven an S-Body S15 with twin turbo on a V8, and it's got its particular power delivery, which a V8 you expect from low torque all the way up, with the surprise of the turbo mid-range. But this V8 now bolted on with a supercharger, it's very different. It's very, very different, but I have to say more suitable to my driving style. I'm not the most aggressive driver when it comes to the car itself. I'm not an animal. I'm not hard on her. I want her to come home. And this supercharger is kind of giving me the ability to be able to stick it in any gear. 1,500 revs, 650 pound of torque. Away she goes. There's no messing. I don't have to change gear. What do you want to change gear for? That only causes like more things to do in a car. Why do you want to do that? That's exactly why I built her. She's perfect. I think the future of drifting for me as a person is all about enjoying it. Back in early 2000s in British GTs, I lost the love of racing because it got so serious. I don't ever want drifting to get to there. However, it's already there and beyond. But there's something about when you get out of a drift car, get into a drift car, you nail a run. It blows your mind. It's so awesome that you just get out smiling. It's the most fantastic thing that any motorsport enthusiast can ever possibly do. We have taken the best drivers from around the world, from Formula 1 to touring car. We've sat them in drift cars and they've just shook their head and couldn't believe what the car was doing. And that's what drifting all about. It's the extreme of motorsport. So, in the past, without a doubt, I've done a lot of motor racing. And I want to take this car to another level. For the first time in my life, I want to do 200 miles an hour. I don't know if it's actually going to do it. It might. But this year, for the first time in my life, I want to take that Nissan 370Z over 200 miles an hour.
Okay, so we're here finally in the all-new Honda Civic Type R, here with my colleague Matt Bird from Piston Heads, and we're here to test what the new Type R is really like.